What is going on, guys? Riley from High Strung Lacrosse here. Today I will be doing the first of a possible series called Riley Talks Lacrosse. I think that's what I'm gonna call it. But pretty much it's like the update videos, except for I talk for a very long time and cover a lot of stuff. And I'll do it from time to time to make sure everyone knows what's going on. The downsides to doing this, just to put them out there. I know some people don't like watching extremely long videos. I noticed that some of my shorter videos get more views, which is understandable. Not everyone has time to do, to like sit down and watch, for example, a 20-minute video or an hour long, which does happen, video. So I understand if this doesn't work, I'll just go to making smaller, shorter videos covering like one head or two heads, or like heads for sale or stuff, which work for me, but at the same time just sort of feel weird. But I'm fine with that if that's what you guys want, since you guys are the customer and you are the priority essentially, although I do want to get enjoyment out of it. So pretty much I will be talking about anything really lacrosse related. More specifically, it'll generally be about heads I have for sale, heads that have strong heads. Just if, like, I say I have like 3 heads sitting here, which I do, for customers, and I don't feel that I need to do a custom stringing video or start one because I'm really lazy and I'm bad about that. I'll just include them in one of these and then send them out, stuff like that. But I'll probably try to get better about the custom stringing videos, since I'm hoping to get more orders this summer. Speaking of that, just to start into the topic, or one of the many topics, I'm considering raising my stringing price from $35 if I provide materials to $40. That's dealing with Hero Mesh 2S and 2X. If it's Otter Mesh, you add $20, since those meshes are $20 less than Otter. If it's 2S Plus or 2X Plus, you add $10 to the overall price. Stuff like that. It's pretty much it would become $20 plus whatever the cost of mesh is, which means that my custom stringing, if you provide all the materials, will be raising from $15 to $20. Now, I'm not sure if I want to do this. I'm considering it because I only have so much time in every day, and I get orders and stuff, and I don't necessarily have enough time, because I'm in high school. I have a lot of stuff going on, or at least I'd like to think so. Volunteering, sports, trying to stay healthy and active, trying to spend time with friends, trying to actually do work, balancing all that. So raising the price is going to make it so I want to continue to do that versus straying away. And I know other people, such as Mainly Mesh, they're custom stringing when they provide 2S or 2X, and I believe Hero is $40 as well, so it's competitive with them. And I remember reading them explaining to a customer why the price was as such, saying it makes it so that it's actually something that they can do and offer to people, and they aren't not making enough money to continue that service. Speaking of continuing services and such, I know that you guys, this is a pretty big one, like patterns. People ask for patterns, people will harass for patterns, people will try to guilt you into giving patterns, stuff like that. It gets pretty annoying, no doubt. I understand why some people give patterns away. For example, String King giving away having you string. It gives customers an incentive to buy their mesh and then string using that. Stuff like that, I completely understand. But in my case, when someone asks for a pattern, if I was to give them a pattern and I just gave everyone patterns whenever they wanted it and no one needed to send me heads, then I would literally, and I'm being completely serious, cash flow would either completely stop or stop quite a bit. And as a result, I wouldn't be getting any products in, I wouldn't have stuff behind me to string, I wouldn't have materials, I wouldn't have any reason to continue on my business. So essentially what would happen is my business would screech to a standstill. I wouldn't be able to give any more patterns because I wouldn't have any sticks to string that I would have patterns, and then as a result, patterns would stop anyways. That's what I think would happen. It seems like a logical path, like a logical progression based on how things would work, and it seems like a big issue, so that's why I don't give out patterns, as well as the fact that if I put all my time into doing stuff and learning how to do this, like, I've spent a lot of time stringing, if you guys haven't figured that out. So to be able to string the way that I do, it took quite a bit of practice, a lot of theory in my mind, like just seeing what works, what doesn't, figuring out what is the best way to go about doing pockets for people. And so as a result, to have put all that work in and then have someone come in and be like, hey, could I have that and not work at all for this? It bothers me because this is something that takes up a large part of my life, and I'm fine with that. I love that, but just the idea of someone just waltzing in and taking it is less than ideal to me personally. I know other people share that same value, and other people say, oh no, you should grow the game. Well, if you're growing the game and hurting yourself, it doesn't make sense to me personally. So there are 2 topics. I believe those were 2 topics that I've covered, and now I'm going to get into a few items that I have for sale. So, or actually, let's do the 3 customers' heads and then move those out of the way so I can then go through heads I have for sale. So up first is, I don't actually know his name, I just know his Instagram handle, WJordan14 on Instagram. Sent me 2 heads. He's friends with one of my, he's a pretty, recurring customer, Hugo. So Hugo is friends with Jordan, and Jordan ended up sending me 2 heads to string for him. Both really, really nice heads. He wanted HSL, or at least HSL-esque pockets on them, so we will get into it. So up first is a Brine King X in black with all-white hero strings around with black striker hero mesh, 2 straights, a doubled-up nylon, and pretty much so this is an HSL type pocket. If you look at it, it's going to sit about here. The end of the head is here, so it's decently high up. That's right where the head ends, or the actual where you could have a pocket ends. So it's decently high up. Has a very, very nice channel if you look at that. I like it quite a bit. So this is essentially what the pocket would be if I was to need to use one, which is what makes up an HSL pocket essentially. It's either, ideally I try to get mid-high pockets with nice channels, and that's why they're called HSL pockets, but HSL pockets are essentially the pocket that I deem most fit for a head, sort of. It's those 2 things. I should probably work on that and get make a preferred pocket and then an HSL pocket, but more often than not, those are the same thing for me. So anyway, this is, and I do understand that could lead to issues, like a customer could be like, well, I wanted a mid-high, so I just asked for an HSL, and then he gets like a mid or something like that. I generally don't go below a mid if I'm calling it an HSL pocket. So anyway, I like this pocket quite a bit. The Brine King is a very, very solid head. I'm very happy that they came out with this. I love stringing it. This is the first X-Spec one that I've done, and in my honest opinion, it's amazing. The high school one strung off really, really well. It used the same exact pattern for it. It got a similar pocket pretty much. I like this head quite a bit, and Hero Mesh is continuing to amaze me. I really like this stuff. So, there you go. Okay, so from there, I'm going to rant a little. The whole video is a rant, just accept it. I'm going to sidetrack really quickly. Hero Mesh and String King. I know everyone asks about that. Hero Mesh, this is my base. Like, when someone asks which one I like more, this is what I give them. I like both of the meshes very much. They are my 2 favorite meshes, no doubt. So, Hero Mesh and String King. Hero Mesh, String King. Hero Mesh, if you want an elastic mesh that's semi-soft or soft, and has a rough texture, go with Hero. String King, if you want a mesh that isn't elastic, is a little bit less rough if you get the standard, and as rough or similar, get the plus. And those are the differences. You can get semi-hard here, you can't with Hero. You can have the soft as well with String King, which I like quite a bit. I like 2S Plus the most, but you have to pay extra. So pretty much it comes down to the elasticity, and yeah, pretty much the elasticity is the biggest thing for me when deciding between the 2. And personally, I love the elasticity. I see it having a lot of benefits for a lot of people, and I like how the mesh strings up. It strings up very well. But if you try to use the same pattern, I found the channel be a little bit looser when dealing with Hero. But at the same time, you're now, since it's so stretchy, you can channel really, really hard. and that makes up for it, in my opinion. You can get really, really channeled pockets. You can already do that with stringing, but it channels just a little bit differently with Hero. I know that the guys at Mainly Mesh might agree with me. They might have found it to be a different situation, but that's my take on it so far. I haven't, in all seriousness, the only piece of Hero Mesh that I have that's even used, my brother's Nike CEO, that's in the other room. I threw around with it some. I used the same pattern that I used with String King on CEOs, a face-off pattern or mid-low pattern, or actually more of a mid. It varies, but it has a lot of lip, which means that the channel's been loosened and the mesh is softer, so it's hitting off the top, which is leading me to that conclusion. But yeah, it comes down to if you like an elastic mesh or not. Okay, I hope that makes sense. You can ask me questions about that in the comments. I'd be happy to talk about that. But yeah. I'm hoping his name's Jordan. I hope it's his first name. If it's the last name, then I'm sorry. His Instagram is WJordan14. So, Jordan, there's your Brian King. So up next, we have the second head for him. It is a Warrior Rabil 2X with Hero Mesh as well, and all Hero strings. This time, the mesh is all the materials are white, and we just have 2 straight shooters up top. This is the pocket that I will be giving Paul Rabil. Just on an X-Spec head. I'm stringing Rabil's Rabil tonight. Rabil. I'm stringing his Rabil tonight. I've been really busy and I feel really bad that he wasn't the first priority. But at the same time, he has another stick that he's using, so it's alright. But also, I'm having James from Pocket Power Lacrosse dye a Rabil 2 for Rabil. So I have the one that I'm going to do just without a dye. And then the other one will be showing up in a while, not a while, but a little, because James was on vacation and wasn't able to finish it. But I hope Paul understands and isn't too upset by that. But I will be sending him the first one to make sure he likes the pocket, and then, depending on how that goes, the pocket for the dyed Rabil will then be the ideal one. So, here is a Rabil 2X, all white, just absolutely gorgeous. Just love it so much. You can't put another shooter, I found, because of how high in channel the pocket is. It creates too much whip or hook to some degree. So this is pretty much the ideal of what I've been able to find. You can move the shooter down a row if you want a little more whip, but if you hit that 10 diamond row, I'm talking you can move it down to the 9 diamond row. If you hit that 10 diamond row, it just hooks. I've found the pocket's all the way up here, it's just going to hook out. I don't know, maybe it might actually, because Hero, like I said, is a little bit looser, so it's possible, but I'm going to keep it like this because I don't want to give him a ton of whip. So yeah, there's your other head, Jordan. Finally, I got completely blindsided when this showed up. It was pretty funny. Okay, let me check his name. Oh yeah, Cameron. I knew that. No, I didn't. I had to check. Cameron's Nike CEO with provided materials. It's a trad. So I was completely blindsided when this happened. For all I know, he did contact me and ask me if it was okay if he sent one to have a trad in. But if he didn't, I mean, it's fine. I did it anyway. So he provided the materials. I was worried that the cross lace wouldn't be long enough, and if you guys follow me closely on Instagram, it wasn't. But that's also because I gave too much extra up here in case I needed to go through and add. So I had to shorten this after I finished and move it all the way through, which I'm worried didn't make the pocket as nice as it was before. I had to move it all the way through down to here just to finish it. So he might have had the exact amount of cross lace needed, which is crazy. But yeah, here is his, it's a 7 diamond trad. He didn't specify, he just said 5 out of 10 whip and that was it. That is all he asked for. And I'm worried that he told me on a post, but if anyone, other stringers, if you're watching this right now, I'm hoping your DMs are similar to mine. It's just a line of just a crap ton of messages varying from serious ones to just showing you ahead to just random talking to you like I'm your new best friend to the most random thing in the world. So finding anything from him was just impossible, or at least not time efficient by any means. So I gave him a 7 diamond trad to help with the 5 out of 10 whip. He provided 2 shooters, but they weren't the same material, and it really bothered me. So I just gave him new shooters, and then added in a nylon because I don't want it hooking off the top. That's my biggest issue right now with trads, the hooking off the top. So when there was a thing stuck up here, I'm sure stringers, please let me know if you like me just talking about a pocket like this. But anyway, the extra up here, when I transferred it down into here, and I hope you guys can see that, when I transferred it down to the other end, I was worried that the upper part wasn't going to be as stiff as it, or as tight as it was before, so that would result, since this is a trad, you guys, doesn't matter, I was worried it was going to hook off the top, but as of right now, if you look here, it shouldn't be, but it might a little, but that also might just be feel instead of hook. So hopefully it isn't a problem, but that's the reason I don't currently offer a traditional pocket service. Also because I'm just working on details. So if you want to look closely, that's the pocket. I've been getting better at these, no doubt. I saw someone comment about the shooters. That's just me weaving through every opening. I think they look fine in my opinion. I realize that trads aren't going to look the same as regular mesh, so I didn't really let it get to me that much, but I understand his quarrel with it. I'm still figuring out shooters on trads. They're just weird to me. But this is what I felt satisfied what Cameron was asking for. So Cameron, I hope you like it. If there are any problems, seriously let me know. I will redo the whole thing. It's not a problem. Yeah, satisfaction. Want to make sure he's happy. But Cameron, here's your Nike CEO. I hope you like it. I gave you a mid. I didn't want to have it hook, so it's gonna sit there. I'm excited to see this break in. I think it'll be really cool. So yeah, there's Cameron's head. So now on to all the other stuff. I have probably over about 15 heads sitting here. A pair of gloves, 2 sets of arm guards, and a bunch of stories. So sit tight. I hope you guys like this part.